Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. I am back. Yes, I am back. Thank you guys for all the love and support and all the messages. I survived that crazy surgery and I am back at it. And I'm very excited that my first show this week is none other than this amazing, amazing lady, Adrienne Smith. She's with Blitz, Champz. You're going to hear about that. It's a new action-packed football game for kids and families. Very excited. You got a big launch coming up. You've got your background done so well. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a more perfect guest on my first day back. Welcome, Adrienne. How you doing?
Thank you so much, Ted, and welcome back to you. I'm so happy that you are back on the mend and raring to go.
Thank you. I am. And this got me so excited when Deborah approached me and said, hey, I'd love to have Adrienne on the show. I looked at it and I thought, God, this is so fascinating. So I want to take the deep dive into Blitz, Champz. I want to talk about that, but people love to know about you. They like to know your origin story. They want to know how you got here. So give them a little Adrienne 411 if you don't mind.
No problem. And it really is quite the amazing journey, if I must say so myself. So it all started way back in Florida when I was 3 years old. And my dad came back from a business trip and he happened to bring a huge teddy bear, just huge. So when I'm little 3-year-old Adrienne and I meet Ginger, we're the same size and I fall in love with him. And I don't know to this day why I named him Ginger, but regardless. So apparently on Sundays when NFL football would come on, I would set Ginger up in front of the television and I would just run and tackle him. And just run and tackle him over and over and over again. And my parents were like, either something's wrong with baby Adrienne or she's going to be something fantastic one day. So luckily it was the latter. And my parents realized that I had this love for football. And so when I was 7, I remember my dad got me a football for Christmas and he taught me how to throw a perfect spiral. And from then on, I just started playing football with the boys in the neighborhood. And then in high school, I was introduced to flag football. But it wasn't until I became a full-fledged card-carrying, voting adult that I was able to finally play organized football. So here in New York City,
was it just a challenge the whole way? First of all, kudos to your dad, to your parents. It shouldn't be that it's forward thinking, but that was forward thinking at the time. I know it's becoming more and more of a norm, even though there's still stereotypes, but huge kudos to them for encouraging you where they saw your gifts to be. So what was that journey like for you? I imagine you had to go toe to toe sometimes with the establishment.
Yes. And let me give a shout out to my parents. Yes, they were definitely trailblazers in saying at the time, we don't understand it. There doesn't seem to be a future for girls and women in football, but our daughter has a passion for it. So we're not going to tell her no. We're going to encourage her and support her in that dream. And little did they know that my love for football as a 3-year-old would manifest into me starting a company called Gridiron Queendom, which supports women and girls around the world who play football.
Love it. Talk about Gridiron Queendom. Where did you come up with the name? Because obviously this is a result. I'm thinking of all of the challenges you've had, and you just want to bring everybody in. You got a queendom going, and it's a force to be reckoned with. What was that like, the development of that?
So it really goes back to what your first question that you asked me, and what were the kind of the hurdles and the pitfalls that I had to go through as a girl who liked football, whether it was dealing with teasing from boys in their neighborhood or at school, to even as an adult having to come against that glass ceiling of, well, this is a man's domain, you shouldn't be here. So for Gridiron Queendom in 2013, I said, it's time for me to give back to the sport that's given so much to me. And gridiron equals football, and I'm a woman, so it's not a kingdom, it's a queendom. So I am the queen of Gridiron Queendom, and all of every woman and girl around the world who likes football, who plays football, is a member of the queendom.
God, I love it. I think it's so important to have, because in reality, even in 2021, it's a smaller group. It's growing, but you still have some of the hurdles that you had even however many years ago you started. And so to have an organization like Gridiron Queendom, a place where you can go, you can find out more information, you can feel like, oh my God, they get it. They understand what the challenges have been in order for me to do the thing that I love. And so I think it's huge. It gives people a safe place.
Absolutely. And even in preparation for our talk today, Ted, I wanted to have my Gridiron sisters with me. So I'm actually wearing my championship rings from the 2010 U.S. Women's national team, where we competed in Sweden, and then in 2013 where we won gold medal again when we were competing in Finland. So I've got my Team USA teammates with me as I speak.
It's just, I'm so motivated when I hear you speak, because first of all, there's a passion in your voice, and it feels like, even though I know you've had challenges, that passion is just rising above all of the rest of the challenges, and now this is bigger than you.
Absolutely.
It's bigger than Adrienne, and you're making it so that other women can come up through and hopefully not have as many challenges as you did when you were coming up. So where did Blitz Champz come in? Where did that come in?
So Blitz Champz came in 2015. So I had started Gridiron Queendom in 2013, and everything's going well, developing this community for women and girls. And then I said, you know what? I want something where I can expand the football experience. I'd love to have a product that can unify even more people. And I prayed to God. I remember, I was like, God, I need an idea. It would be great if it were a game that's about football. And I kid you not, Ted, I went to bed. Well, I don't snore, but woke up the next morning and Blitz Champz was downloaded into my brain. And I literally just started taking notes, everything that I was thinking of, writing it down. And here we go. And then here we are with Blitz Champz. It took me all of 2016 to develop it, to reach out to my Columbia Business School network, to connect with people, to help me develop the game. And it's available on blitzchampz.com, Amazon, Walmart, .com. It's just been absolutely phenomenal.
What's it? Give us a little breakdown. So you're talking about a game, and obviously there's you have a big promo launch at Super Bowl. LV is coming up, and so you've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. What is it that people can expect if they get a game and they go to play it? Give us a little bit of the details.
So the object of Blitz Champz is to be the first person to score 21 or more points. And the mechanics of the game are really easy. So we've got green cards, which are offensive cards.
You're ready. You're so prepared.
I don't have an MBA for nothing, right?
I mean, woo. You're making my life so much easier today. Thank you.
We've got our green offensive cards, which players use to score points. You've got your red defensive cards. Red means stop, correct? Your red defensive cards, which players use to remove points from their opponents. And then your yellow continuation cards. Yellow just means, keep the game going. Kind of like an Uno where you skip a player or reverse play. It's a similar concept in Blitz Champz. And what's great is that the game is perfect for anyone 7 years of age and up. It can be played by 2 to 6 people at a time. And it has the added benefit of reinforcing math skills for kids in grades 3 through 8. That's super important for me, Ted, because I'm all about edutainment, education and entertainment. Like our kids, everyone could be learning more if they were having fun. So I really wanted to have an edutainment component in Blitz Champz.
There's so much good about because there are people who want to learn the game, right? That I did enough to I usually don't, but I had time this week to read. So I did enough research to be dangerous. What's great to me about the game is that it doesn't matter where your knowledge level is. If you have an interest in football, if you have an interest if you like games in general, what's great about it is you don't have to know everything in order to start the game and to play. And I love that because I think there's a lot of kids that want to learn more, but maybe they don't have an environment where they can ask. Maybe they don't have coaches. Maybe they don't have somewhere to go or talk about it. I love the fact that the game, you can come in and not know and kind of learn as you go. It's beautiful.
And that's a great point, Ted. And another thing with Blitz Champz, I wanted the game to be absolutely inclusive. I'm a Black woman. You know, I'm a female playing sports. I wanted this to be inclusive. And so one of the things I was adamant about is that the cards featured in Blitz Champ, they represent male athletes, female athletes. You'll see people from all colors, all races. I wanted anyone who picked up a Blitz Champs game to say, oh, I'm in here. I belong.
I love that. I think it's so important too in this day and age right now. We're all facing 2021. I mean, we all went through 2020. So that was a fascinating challenge. And so we're all kind of wondering what's happening in 2021, bringing some normalcy back, like the Super Bowl, like games, like interacting again, is so important and so powerful. And you've helped create a place where inclusion, diversity are part of the basic foundation of what you're trying to accomplish when you want people to play the game. Yes, you want them to have fun, but I get it. You want them to learn. You also want them to understand team sports. There's a whole lesson that goes on in Blitz Champz, and I think it's so important. I think that it should be used for not just those interested in football. There's lots of ways for you to use it if you have any interest in any kind of, what did you call it, edutainment?
Edutainment. Yes. And to your point, Ted, I actually, when I was testing the game in 2016, I tested it with non-English speaking people who knew nothing about football. So if you just come from planet Mars, land on planet Earth, and you're like, let's play a game, Blitz Champz is the game for you. You don't need to know anything about football, but if you do know about football, it's further enjoyable. So it's very important for me, again, that everyone be able to pick this card game up and have a good time with family and friends.
So you're tying it into Super Bowl. You have some launch that you're doing. Okay. So tell us a little bit about that, because that's exciting.
So Super Bowl will be soon upon us. It's going to be a fantastic Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and the Bucks. And shout out to the Bucks for being the first team in NFL history to actually play a Super Bowl at their home stadium. And I also want to shout out the Bucks due to the fact that they have a couple of female coaches on their staff. And it's just really fantastic. And Bruce Arians was actually the first coach in the NFL to bring a woman onto his staff, that woman being Jen Welter. So shout out to Jen as well. For me, I mean, this is the perfect time for Blitz Champz. We've got Super Bowl Sunday coming up. The big Super Bowl tailgate parties that used to be before COVID won't necessarily happen this year, but a way to really bring some of that intensity and fun of any football game is to have a deck of Blitz Champz with you in the house for you and your kids to play, the kids and the grandparents, etc. Everyone can have a good time.
Yeah, that's so good, and the timing is so perfect. What do you want to do long term with Blitz Champz? What's the long term goal for you?
Great question. So in the long term, I really want to hone in on the mathematical aspect, the educational aspect of Blitz Champz for kids in grades 3 through 8. I'm looking to launch a digital version of the game that will really allow kids to get the consistent practice of playing the game, whether they're playing against the computer in a multiplayer version, or they're playing via a network with their friends in other classrooms, or even people around the world, and really have like a pre and post mathematic testing criteria to really gauge how kids' math skills are improved after having played Blitz Champz.
Love it. Let me ask you too. I think it's important. Somebody who's going to listen to this, we've had a lot of comments and a lot of love, by the way, and we'll all go back. I promise you guys, and Adrienne and I will both respond. But I think it's so important because there's so much news about bullying and stereotypes and things like that. And kids had such a challenge in 2020, especially because they were so isolated. Now that we're getting back into doing things, they're looking for things to be included in. And I think what you are creating, this environment, it's not just a game, it's not just education, it's almost like a movement. You are really creating this space where this entire field of women professional athletes, football in particular here, can actually move forward and progress, which is what we want. We want to see that. I don't understand why we have the crazy stereotypes. I mean, I understand, I don't like it, and it's time for it to be done, is my opinion. So I am very excited for you. Where can people buy the game? Where can people get involved in Gridiron Queendom? Where can people reach out to you? Maybe someplace where the girls that want to get involved, the kids that want to know more can learn more.
Absolutely. So Gridiron Queendom, we are on all the social media platforms. So if you go to the website, gridironqueendom.com, GRIDIRON, Queendom, QUEENDOM.com. On Instagram, it's just GI Queendom. As for me, if you want to follow all of the things that I'm involved with, I have my website, adrienne10.com, ADRIENNETHE10.com, and the 10 from my jersey number. That's my jersey number on all of the football teams I've played on. And then also on Instagram, Adrienne10. And I really do like to interact with people. So in terms of if you're a budding entrepreneur and you just want to bounce some ideas off of me, or you have questions, or if you're a little girl in, I don't know, Timbuktu in Morocco, we're in Osaka, Japan, and you have aspirations of playing flag football, tackle football, definitely reach out to the Gridiron Queendom community, because we're here to support those dreams.
Let me ask you one last question before we head out. Has there been a moment where you know, if you're an entrepreneur like you are and you struggle through things and you're trying to develop everything, there's usually this moment where you realize, wow, I'm making an impact. Have you had a moment with a child or with a player or with a coach or with somebody who said, God, this is just amazing, and you go, okay, I'm on the right path?
Ted, we need a whole other show for me to talk about that. Yes. Yes. I've had multiple moments. Let me just go ahead and just rapid fire a few. The first
Please.
That pops into my head is in 2011. I had worked with the NFL to get, for the first time ever, female coaches involved during NFL Experience Week, so involved in the Play 60 football camps. And there were 13 of us from the 2010 national team, and we're teaching these kids camps, football skills and drills in Dallas at the Super Bowl. And I remember this father came up to me with glassy eyes, and he said, I am so glad to see you and these other women here. My little girl loves football. I think she was 6 or 7 years old, and I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't know what I could do for her or with her. But the very presence of having me and the other Team USA athletes there gave the little girl something to hope for and aspire to be, and gave a peace of mind for the dad as well. That's something I will never forget. It still warms my heart to think about it.
It gives me chills, and I know that's not necessarily what you're going for, but it's such a feeding of knowing you're on the right path. It's the message. It's whatever your belief system is, your answer to prayers. Okay, I'm on the right path, God. You mentioned faith earlier. And so I love the fact, I love for people to share that kind of stuff so that people understand that you're really moving along this. And sometimes you're just going blindly. You have a love and a passion like you do for the sport and for what you want to accomplish. And then the world, the universe, God, wherever your beliefs are, tends to take you along there on the right path. So huge kudos to you. I loved this show. I love what you're doing, Adrienne. Thank you so much. I want everybody to go out to blitzchampz.com, get the game. I want everyone to reach out to gridironqueendom.com and reach out to Adrienne. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you for everything that you're doing. And thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ted. I've had a blast. Thank you so much.
All right. Awesome. You guys go get Blitz Champz, blitzchampz.com. It's scrolling across the screen. Gridironqueendom.com. I've got that tagged as well. Not going there, but I'll put it in all of the tags. Reach out. We've had a lot of love again, and we appreciate that. And I love everything that you're doing, Adrienne. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Fantastic first show back. You made my day. Thank you so much. You guys reach out. Thank you.